Monday morning. Hopefully everyone's feeling well. Let's get to the recap and get into it. Hopefully everyone's feeling well. Did I say that? Yes. My name is Scott Redler. I am the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. Welcome to today's recap look ahead. So came in today, I think, what were the futures? The futures are down, like 11 or 12 handles, and then it got a little worse, was down like 14. Went over levels that I thought could hold, that would make it easier to buy a dip and hold things and hoping for things to go red to green. I did come in with 4 or 5 longs still with some hedges. I got stuck in a little premium, which I was able to get out of, as well as being long spies. I wound up giving you a way to buy more and trade around it. That's all you could ask for, is ways to buy around things and trade out of it, so where you're not trapped. Friday, I think people were trapped. I'm sorry. They just were. Friday, you had this, Thursday you had that down move, which I know a lot of traders that I spoke to went out just short, like no even longs, in this candle, which made a little sense. If you were waiting, you're waiting for a clue here. Quite the sellers didn't have the power here. They did. Then on on Friday, you had to make a decision on what you wanted to do for the day. Did you want to roll them up and keep rolling them up, however long you want to roll them up, or get out and lick your wounds, or stay with some hedges, or if they're out shorts and buy a few things, etc. So, P.S. that's that. So now, I was like, could this prior high area hold and give a little commitment to that candle, and that's exactly what it did. And I was able to, buy some spies, buy back some premium, trade around it, and I had to wind up having a good day there doing that. Spies made a tiny little new high today, not a big one. It didn't get crushed. We do a big red dog reversal. What would we say? 441.33. Just poked its head up there, and I actually traded around it pretty well there too. I feel like I want to get rid of this downtrend line because it's kind of noisy looking. But I guess I'll leave it there for another day or so. So maybe it looks a little bit better if you like this. Now we'll see how it stays above there. The Qs seem to have been a little weaker, not a lot weaker, just a little weaker, which is fine. The Qs held where it had to also. Remember, I drew this 374.80. Didn't even get there. So a lot of names went from red to green. Still looks just fine. This low now is what? 375.24. Anyway, I like to save some of these and have them listed just with no language on the morning. I could put language based on how things look in the morning. And then even at IWM gave you a chance today to buy some versus the level and went green. Not so horrible. Now you have a 2-day pivot here that I'd love to see it get back above and start acting better, and let some names that are in the small cap start to participate a little bit better. We'll see. I did buy some options for tomorrow, and I still have some options left over that I bought a little bit higher for the 24th. But decent trade. You could have bought verse here and went green and closed all right. So we'll see what's next. There's a small chance that it's still sort of constructive. Small.
AMD Advanced Micro Devices was initiating the buy rating at $125 price target.
So, XLE, which hasn't been doing great, at the 8-day. XLF still holding above this prior gap, looking better than the XLE. So there's definitely some things to do and ways to maneuver. Tomorrow's a CPI. Hopefully it's just in line so things go back and forth a little bit and then we just keep this trend going. If it's hot, we could be down 30 handles. If it's light, maybe we get another push. Where would the push go? The next area, this 442 is a little close now because we went to 441. So I would say the next real spot would be right around here, which is 440, we could say 445-ish. So it's a nice round number, right? That's up here. So this kind of already went to here, pretty much. So maybe that's a little less noisy.
EFTR, effector.
Right, and then this is above, which we're not ready yet for. But this is, this is where it broke below, it came back above, so that makes some sense. That's kind of why I said, hey, I still have a bunch of longs going on, so just in case tomorrow's hot, I should sell something a little bit higher just to have some premium on. So you can see what I have long. So what I do is I sold some 445s for Thursday, just because it's, the SPYs are here. So I don't think I would mind being short the SPYs if it goes up towards 445 by Thursday. If that happens, I'm making a lot of money in a lot of these things. In the small caps probably, in the FXI probably, in Meta probably. I sold some of those. I put on shop just in case. Still have the square calls on, which are still ready to go. Maybe AI, some of these other things. So I had to have some hedge on it. If all of a sudden tomorrow's hot, then I'll be able to probably suck in a lot of this premium. And then, by the way, this is expired. Hopefully this leaves. That's expired. This is real. This call spread. I actually covered a little bit to be a little bit more long Apple than shorted. And if it's, again, if it's hotter and we're down, then maybe I get to buy some things like I did today. I came in today, my options account was up because I was overhedged. My active account, swing account were down, and I was able to manage myself into a decent P&L because things were viable. Things went green. Things, weren't a trap. Meta was in a trap. Meta held where it had to, right? Held this 324 area and then pushed above 330.50. Just didn't have as much power as I would have liked. I trimmed some of the options that I had on and traded the stock, and now we'll see. It's a little extended. I would have liked it to have been a little bit better, to be honest. Like close above 332, I'd be in a lot more. But instead, I'm a little bit lighter because you also have the CPI today, which I don't want to. I don't want to get caught with a real big curveball because I'm trading pretty well. Besides not being able to trade on Thursday and having to get out of all those positions, that cost me money. But I'm over that. I'm over it. I guess you could, you can make this higher now because you have this point of reference here. This is 325.74. It's a point of reference on this side. And then you could kind of move this up because this is your 8-day now. Right? A little extended, but still okay. What's this high here? This is 321. It could be just fine still when you get to 321. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but it could. Some things that I think gave tech a little cautiousness, which isn't, blaring, is that Microsoft, came in early, so they wanted to bring in some tech sells, I feel like, but it did hold 366 and gave you a push, and now what you probably don't want to see, it's not the end of the world again. You don't want to see all of a sudden this big candle get negated. That'd be annoying, right? It got above 366, it hit 370. What you want to do is you want to see a little sideways action and then take 370, and that would show tech still has power. Just, the 8-day is all the way down here. So you could go like this now a little bit, just to, so you could see it. What is this now? This low is 365.90. And then, but again, I keep saying again. I don't want to say it anymore, but okay, I gotta watch myself. You don't want to see it go halfway into this candle because then that just negates the breakout candle. And then if it comes in and comes in more, then all of a sudden everyone's going to be talking about how it was a trap and it was a false breakout, which you can't say yet. Right now, you just say, hey, it's extended from the 8-day. It's had a big move, an inside day, a few more inside days, and it can continue. A lot of tech wound up having an inside day. Apple had an inside day, which is fine. Let it have a few more inside days, and maybe there'll be another nice setup to have. We did really well with those options. We'll see how that goes. What did Amazon do today? Ooh, that looks a little juicier even. Inside day, above the 8 day, going sideways. Some point market gets going again. This takes this out and that out and can go. That's a setup. We like setups, right? Setups. Netflix really doesn't have a setup. Just inside day too. A little inside day. Where you don't want to get too big at the wrong time. Google has another nice setup, right? Inside day. All on the green side versus the red side. Gap right above. Holding above the moving averages. Trying to be relevant again. So there's still setups hanging around. We've got to see what happens tomorrow, though. We've got to get through the CPI. NVIDIA just keeps kind of grinding higher. Trying to get back towards the all-time high. I've told you that SMCI is not created equal. It's loose, it's wide, it's sloppy. And then it broke below this. If you were in it, you had to get stopped out. And hard to tell here. I'm not trading this thing. I only trade it when it's perfect. To me, it's loose and wide and choppy and hard to deal with. So we'll see. AMD's been better. Even though it had an inside day today, it's fine. For the 8 days, it's been grinding higher. We made a lot of money on the options for earnings. Datadog, I would have liked more power. I did buy some through this high here, and it didn't really go far, but it's okay. 105.84. These things, that's why I don't love to trade these things. They don't close on highs, close on lows, but it still looks okay. What did Adobe do today? Inside day, setting up. Maybe Adobe gets another trade, another bull flag on top of a channel break. That'd be healthy. What did Avago do today? Inside day a little bit more trappier than the other ones, but it's just fine. It's as long as it holds above here for a little bit, maybe it digests. Some stocks go up, but they don't trade well, and they make it hard. So that's why sometimes someone's like, "Why isn't CrowdStrike on your go-to list? Why aren't you trading it every day?" I'm like, because it's just a hard stock sometimes. Remember this time it looked great and had a break down before going up. It's hard. This looks like, pretty easy though. This looks like a nice little bull flag. Gave you a breakout on Friday and then continued. So you can't be too upset about that if you're in it. I've listed this a bunch of times. I still think this Palantir could work its way up through this 20.25 and make a new high from August. The CEO said that they're in the best spot their business has ever been in. Anyway, big pro gap, move, go sideways and continue. Squared, perked up a little bit at 2. Pro gap, made a little move, holding in here. Looks like it can continue. That's why I'm in that. Shop, pro gap, made a move. Couldn't get through the downtrend right away. Bearish candle. These 2 candles now repaired that. Now you'll see kind of break above this and go. If the market's going to continue, this should get above that spot. You look at the weekly chart of some of these, like, but well, it looks like it's done so much. Does it really look like it did so much now when you look at the weekly chart? Where it's been? So anyway, looks like you have a bull flag, descending trend line here. Sometimes where could it go? Well, maybe it can go up to here. $70. Is that asking for too much? Same thing if you go to Square. Everyone's like, oh, it had such a big move already. I'm like, well, how big of a move did it really have? Look where it sold down from. Kept going lower. All it is above some moving averages. It has a little bit of room just back to where it broke down from, and their earnings were decent. So that's why I'm in some of those. People ask me for a reason. That's why I'm saying. We'll see if the small caps can play some catch up. Overall, it is what it is. Today was a decent day. I feel like I'm hopefully back in rhythm a little bit where if you don't want to be in an overnight, I get it. If all of a sudden it's a light CPI, you could probably short the SPYs at 444-ish. If it's a hot one, you could probably buy the SPYs at, the 4. I don't know where exactly in the SPYs could we buy the SPYs. I don't know if there's such a big move. We'll see. It'll probably be opening below this, and I would have to say, hey, does it get above and stay? Does it get below and stay below, or does it reclaim it? This would be a spot. Your 8 days still down here, but that would just get things sloppier. So if you want to be light heading into tomorrow, be it. If you have some things you've been massaging for 2 weeks, hopefully you have a little bit less. You made some good money, and you could trade around it if it doesn't trap you. If you're overly short and you've been rolling it up since last week or 2 weeks ago, you'll see how it goes. I wish you luck. And usually you don't want luck in trading. You want to be in control of your positions, and you want to be able to maneuver it, and you want to be able to face what's happening. And that's what we're all here trained to do. Have a good night, guys. It's Monday. Tomorrow's Tuesday. We'll keep putting the week together. Later, guys.